Good morning, y'all. It's a rainy, foggy Thursday. It's not that rainy though, and it's actually slightly on the warmer side. So I don't mind days like this. I like sunny days, but I also don't mind days like this. I'm here. I just woke up. What is it? 10:25. I must have woken up about an hour ago. So I'm going to be on here for, I don't know, we'll see today. 20 minutes, 30 minutes. It all depends. It all depends on how things are looking. So, whoops. I woke up this morning thinking about a lot of things. I put some of those things in my membership chat. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to my channel. Not just subscribe to my channel, but subscribe to having a membership on the channel. I think I have about 13 or 14 members right now. The charge is really slow. The charge is really low, $2.99. I keep it low, but it does help me a little bit because, like I said, ad revenue on YouTube is not a lot. Like, I think that my video that got me the most from ad revenue was something like $6 on the whole video. The most. The majority of these videos are getting me a couple of cents per video per month. Private caregiver. I didn't miss you this time. How you doing, Vicky? Yeah, so the way that the rest of my month is lining up, I actually just don't know how my month is going to line up. I'm figuring it out as I go along. Yeah, the one thing that is a characteristic of me, though, ambiguity gives me anxiety. So the thing is, for the last 5 years, I've mostly had a bunch of things that I don't like to have on my schedule. There was a period of time, well, 2020, end of 2020, 2021, and 2022. I took a paid family leave time off each of those years. The first one was only about 2 weeks, a little less than 2 weeks. The second one, I took the whole 10 weeks that are allowed in New York. And then the third one was 12 weeks, because now that's what it is. So if anyone doesn't know about what paid family leave is, it's New York's state-specific version of FMLA. To my understanding, FMLA, you can get paid. You don't get paid. Like, they pay off your PTO that you have while you're on FMLA, but then when that runs out, all they're doing is essentially, I guess, keeping your benefits going and then holding your job for whenever it is that you come back. But with paid family leave, at the time when I first did it in 2020, I think that the maximum time that you could get was 8 weeks, and it had some specific things for that, like caretaking for an immediate family member, and people also use it here for maternity leave. So, you know, I did it, and you get, at the time, it was like 67% of your pay you get from this insurance company. But that's how my job did it. This insurance company paid it out. Well, I guess companies do it that way because it's an insurance that you're paying into. And then the next year, when I did the 10 weeks, it went up to 70% of your salary. And the last year was 12 weeks. But my point of saying all of that was to say that during that time period, even though I spent 3 months not working, the purpose that I was feeling during that time was taking care of my dad. I consider that like an honor and an important job. Like, I wake up in the morning and my dad needs me to help him get dressed and make sure that he's taking his medications, and at a time when he was strong enough, taking him out to the store, taking him to the barber shop, different things that I was doing with him. And then, on the side, I was doing my YouTube page, and I was also doing all my side work, and I was doing some volunteer work, and it was just like a bunch of things that I was doing during that time that gave my life some meaning. And I did not miss having a job in the least. And I am not somebody who needs a job. When I say I'm not somebody who needs a job, I'm not even talking about the money and the bills aspect, because obviously I need a job. But what I'm trying to say is, some people are like workaholics who feel like they need a job for happiness or fulfillment, or the title does something for them, or those types of things. Good morning, Charicity. I am not somebody who needs that for that reason. But I spent a year when my depression was at its worst, when my anxiety was at its worst, and when my agoraphobia was at its worst, in my house, where there's only two things I was getting out of bed for. Well, one thing. I was basically just getting out of the bedroom if I had to use the bathroom. Eating was not a thing. I was like 120 pounds. And my mom used to bring me some oatmeal and a couple of slices of toast. I would take a couple of spoons of the oatmeal, and I might take a bite out of the toast, and that was it for the day. And I remember that being such a horrible, horrible, horrible time of my life. Very terrible. And since then, I've had a schedule that is extremely busy. So busy that people are like, Mark, you need to slow down and smell the roses type of busy. Not literally saying that, but they're like, when do you have time to just breathe? And in some ways, I did need to break up my schedule a little more and have rest penciled in, and vacation times if I could, things like that. But in some other ways, the busyness of my schedule was to counterbalance what my life is like when I'm not busy. When I'm not busy, it makes me feel lethargic. It makes me feel unmotivated. It makes me feel sad at times. And so right now, I guess I'm trying to build back up a more healthy busyness, where I have things that I can do, but things that I put on my own schedule, like not things that not me waking up and being like, oh, let me check these emails and run around and do things because I have to do them in order to get my bills paid. A thing where I'm like, look, A, B, C, D, E, F, G is on my schedule. And those things are things of my choosing, not because of somebody being like, you better get this done or you're going to get punished. You know, like, I don't want that kind of busy in my life. Although I don't know what I'm going to be telling you about my life in maybe about 3 weeks' time. I'm not sure. I might tell you, I might be saying that I missed this time, but as of right now, there's only so much that I can do this, and I have to quickly find some sources of what am I trying to say here? I need to find some sources of activity. I don't even know if I'm making sense, but you know, I just get on here and I speak my mind. That's it. Like my dad, for an example, he was a work person. Like, he needed work. I remember when he got out of his last employment situation, it was the first time since I've been alive that he was not working. And I remember the way that man loved his work. Not loved his work as in loved his job, because there's plenty of jobs I remember he did not like, but just loved getting up for work. You know, every day in the morning, he'd be up at 6 o'clock in the morning picking out his suits and making sure that the suit is pressed and the tie matches and everything. Shirt and tie, suit and pocket square and all that stuff. That's probably part of where I got that from. And then I remember when he was like 67, his job laid him off. And this is the first time I had ever seen him go more than a couple months without a job. And all of a sudden, he's waking up. Instead of 6, he's waking up at 10, and he's like laying on the couch in sweatpants. That doesn't sound like anything, but my dad was not a sweatpants kind of guy at all. He never wore sweatpants. He had pajamas that he went to bed in, but aside from when he was actually going to sleep, he would not wear anything aside from a suit and a tie. So I remember looking at him and I'm like, why does he look so sad? You know, like, you've contributed to society for 40 years, from his 20s to his 60s, and you've worked and slaved for that much time. So you should be happy that you're not working. In his case, though, he wasn't doing all these other things like me. So I guess what I'm trying to really figure out, that I have never really put a serious enough thought into, is if I were to get what I wanted out of life, which is to never have to have a 9-to-5 job again, what would that alternative life look like for me? I asked myself that question before, and I think the fact that I don't have an answer to that question yet means that I need to take some more time to go back to the drawing board and figure it out. Because it's not just a matter of taking something out of your life. One second. Sorry about that. It's not just a matter of taking things out of your life. It's about finding things and ways to replace what you have removed. So within that 8 hours, if you spend a significant amount of time, doing a certain thing, right? And then all of a sudden you're doing nothing. Man, the last time I felt like this, honestly, was 2023, April, when I lost my dad, because every week I was going into that nursing home, and I would talk to him, I would play music for him, I would read him some things, I would watch some old videos with him, I would call all his friends, I'd video call his friends so he could talk to his friends. This was my routine. And all of a sudden when he wasn't here, I was like, and then I took about 16 days off of work. And then, during that time, I was like, what do I do? Because now a significant part of my life has been removed and there's nothing to replace it. So this video is not really one of inspiration, let's say. It's not one of motivation for others. It's just really me thinking out loud. And it's something that I'm going to spend some time. I hope there's a bagel place around here. Doesn't look like it. Anyways, it's something I'm going to spend some time thinking about, and hopefully I'll have some answers, and I'll be able to make another follow-up video like, this is what I have figured out this month. Lifetime of work retirement was a well-earned vacation for me. Hi, Marshall. I wanted to watch you eat a bagel. Well, I'm not eating one. The bagel only comes after the gym. I've put those two things together. If I go to the gym, I'll get my bagel. If I don't go to the gym, which I have not yet. I hate getting up so late. My body was hardwired for like 5 years to get up at 6 o'clock. And the reason I liked getting up at 6 o'clock is because there was multiple things that I could get done early. I feel like because at nighttime, I'm not getting things done. The only thing that you're going to catch me doing at night that you could call any kind of productive to some degree is doing a live like this. But in terms of errands that I need to run and things like that, I'm not doing that at night. So I would have things done between the hours of like 6 and 10. I was getting things done at those times. And this whole waking up at 9:30, 10 and starting my day at that time is just not acceptable for me. So maybe what I need to do is to start intentionally putting things on the schedule that force me to get up earlier, because that's productivity time for me. And the later I get up is the harder it is for me to get up. I was very tempted today to actually just be like, you know what? I'm not getting up and out. And the weird part is, from 2020 to 2023, to the end of 2023, I was working remote. I was working remote. Oh, there's a bagel spot. I was working remote. So I wasn't leaving my house a lot. I was in my house quite a lot. And I was fine with that at that time. Then I get into a job that requires me to leave my house almost every day, several times a day. And then you take that out of the equation, and I'm like, in some sense, I got what I wanted, but in another sense, I wasn't prepared for it. I think that's what it was. If I was prepared, I would have my alternate plan of what I was going to do with the time, but I didn't have an alternate plan. So now here I am. Didn't get my gym in yet, and the gym is harder for me to get in the longer that my day goes, because I'm like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. That's what happened yesterday. Yesterday I was like, I will do it tomorrow. I'll get it in tomorrow. And today is tomorrow, and I don't have a set time that I'm going to be in there. 1 second again. I like being an early bird. 1 second again. Okay, so I'm gonna be on here for like another 2 to 3 minutes, and I'm hopping off. But I hope everybody's week has been going good. I mean, the next thing that's really on my schedule. Oh, we got traders tonight. Looking forward to the traders. But the next thing that's really on my schedule is that Survivor on the 22nd, and then the Survivor premiere party on the 26th. Those two things. And I got my paperwork in for my new situation, so hopefully starting in March, things are going to be different, but I've mentioned this before. I'm going to be way less on the specifics when it comes to my YouTube page. Even though I felt like I do a pretty good job of expressing my feelings on certain things, anyone can go and look those things up. And so I'm going to be speaking less on what's happening in that regard. All right, y'all. I might be on later. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell to get notified of when I drop some more great content. Thank y'all.